Okay, scales, and more scales. Now, I'm going to send you three links. This one, the link to I think I may have already sent it, but I'll double check. The demonstration of the B minor scale, which I'm going to walk you through again, and just one of me just shredding away, talking about scales. So, scales are important for several reasons. First of all, riffs, right? As you already know, that's really just a riff out of that minor pentatonic. I mean, going all the way to how's it go? It's a riff out of the blues scale, a riff out of the blues scale. So the scales are used for more than just lead playing. That's one. Two, um, scales on the guitar are done completely differently than all other instruments. Maybe not all other instruments, but most other instruments. You came in and you were talking about the G major scale. I'm sorry. And I said, well, that's only half, right? Because you're only playing G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. You have to play all six strings on the guitar. Otherwise, you'll never think to use those because of the muscle memory. So playing only three strings, no matter where the root is a horrible idea. Always cover all six. So you're going to start on fourth string, play the first string, down to sixth string, and then back up to where you started, which was fourth string. Now your roots can be anywhere, which is part of what I'm going to walk you through. The other part about that scale is that it's only G because your starting note was G, and this is the big problem with probably at least still half of the scale instruction out there. My first scale book did the same thing. Here, G major. I have a scale book over there that it goes into the exotic scales of the Hungarian mode and the Neapolitan mode and all this other groovy stuff. When you look at it, it looks very intimidating. When you really examine it, you realize that they're just showing it to you in every single fret. Okay, but you only need to know the pattern, and then the pattern moves. 75% of us do not use open strings because we don't play country music. The other 25% do. Ha ha ha. Anyway, so G becomes the A major scale, becomes the C major scale. But again, you want to go all the way up, and the minors are usually easier, right? They sound this better, especially when you listen to the kind of music that you listen to. And they're easier. And what I mean by they're easier is you start on first finger instead of second or fourth. They go from, fret 2 to fret 4, fret 3 to fret 5, whatever. They go that direction. And a lot of the major scales, the three major scales, go that direction. They go backwards. It's kind of counterproductive. So the forms are based on where you're going to find your root and then your octaves. So you'll have two patterns that have a six string root, the E and the G, A, and C. And then fourth string is only D. And again, that's where the caged came from because it spells out C-A-G-E-D. Now your octave, again, if you start with your chord and start with C, your root and your octave, 5 and 2. A, 5 and 3. G, 6, 3, 1. Excuse me, 6, 3, 1. Sorry. I said it right, but G, E, 6, 4, 1, and the D is 4 and 2. So if I do that again in C, first finger replaces third finger at fret 3, and it's A. So Feeling about that bar chord, this being the nut. Then it's G. Pinky first, because it's easier to do, one finger per fret. Then you stretch that third finger to match pinky's fret. And if I put that down and make a bar, see how that's a G chord? So that's why it's G, 6, 3, 1. 6, 4, 1, and you have your E, because that's your basic E form for a bar chord. 6, 4, barring 1. 6 and 1 are always on the same fret. Again, first finger replaces third finger. That's the D form, 4 and 2. Then I can replace with first finger and do third finger. I'm back to C. Then I can do it again with an A. And then I can do another G. And now I'm out. I have no more frets. I have to buy a new guitar to keep going. So depending on what key you're in, your lowest point on the guitar neck will change. And I think I gave you that form. So for example, in the C, your first form is really an A form to exclude open strings. And we exclude open strings for one, the sound. It's a little too country. Two, your string names, E, A, D, G, B, E. There's only one key that has all natural notes. So then you have to start thinking about the sharps here. Nah, too much work. So we don't do it. Three, the timbre. It just does not sound great to go when I can go. Sounds a little bit better. Plus, I'm more higher on the octave, not just on the neck, but octave-wise, I've gone up. I can keep the octave the same. And it changed. Timbre, the tone of the lick changed. So one step at a time, practice one scale pattern. The E form is the most common. If I start at fret 3, it's G minor. If I start at fret 12, tough place to play a bar chord, dude. Not gonna work. All right. Now it's E minor. If I start at fret 7, it's a B minor. So one pattern equals all scales with a root of 6 string, an octave on 4th, and the other octave on 1st. That's the E. Now, we were talking about fade to black. So all of those notes are right there out of that E form B minor. Now I reached up so I could get that pull off. Can't do a pull off from first string to second string. So that's your first one. Okay, now as you're trying to focus on these, the E, the A, and the D are the three most commonly used ones. So most importantly, scale pattern, one pattern equals all 12 keys with a specific root, 6, 5, or 4. Number 2, by learning one pattern, you've actually learned 2 because major and relative minor are the same. So we can dive into that a little bit more. So focus on the minors. They are going to come to you easier. And lastly, change positions. Practice it at 3, practice it at 9, practice it at 17. I mean, get way up here and practice that scale. And and then recognize all 6 strings to be covered. All right, hope that helps, and I'm going to send you a whole bunch of emails with links and blah, 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 and all that good stuff. Have a great weekend. Thank you.